Yeah. All right. So the youngest kid is doing this kind of stuff, and Dad says, all right, what I'll do is I'll divide my wealth appropriately. You'll get your portion, and you can go make it on your own. And as a dad, I want to say, hello, what are you doing? But he does it nonetheless. And the son goes off, and you know this story, don't you? He wastes his money on friends who weren't friends, on women who weren't wives, and on parties that were celebrating nothing. And it was all good until the money went away. And when the money finally fell to its last drop, dried up, no more to be found, the celebrations that were not celebrations died. The women who were not wives disappeared. Why? They weren't committed to anything but his cash. And the friends? They weren't friends at all. We know because the moment his hardship began, they hit the road. This is not the mark of true friendship. And so this guy finds himself in the need for a job. And so this good Jewish boy finds a job feeding pigs. They're not supposed to even touch the things. And this guy was so desperate, not only did he have to work with pigs, touch the pigs, he was so stinking hungry, he started looking at the pig slop and said, breakfast? Maybe? Any of you ever been stupid enough to say yes to a challenge and you ate dog food? Good, none of you did. I understand. I gotta tell you. I didn't have that problem growing up because we had cats. Can of tuna, can of cat food, same thing, right? No. Pig food starts looking good when you're really, really hungry. And in his moment of anguish, he says, I don't think I can go back home to the son, but I bet I can be a worker. I can work for my dad. And by the way, he could have done that at the start. My mother would have said, oh, you're bored, I got work for you. Right? Dad said, all right, go ahead. He came back. What did he find? Dad had every day since he left been standing on the front porch, looking and watching and waiting. Looking and watching and waiting. So that when the son came home, saw him coming at a great distance, Dad bolts from the porch, embraces the son, and rejoices. That one has been, he who's been lost has been found. He was as of dead to me, but now he's back to life. And he was thrilled at the return of the son. Meanwhile, the older boy, slaving out in the fields, working away, supporting the land, doing the whole this is the right thing to do kind of thing. I'm the good boy. Hating every minute of it. Never a party, never a celebration, longing for Dad to say, I'm so proud of you. Because this is what we long for, isn't it? Don't we want our parents to be proud of us? Don't we want people to say encouraging words to us, well done? And so here he is, slaving away, sweating and working hard, hoping beyond hope that he'd be appreciated. And all his dad does is stand on the front porch looking for his deadbeat brother. And I can see him working in the fields, huffing and puffing and cursing, and I just hate that boy. He has stolen everything from me. He took half of everything Dad owned. He's a snake and a slob, and you hear the stories coming back. He is hanging with prostitutes, doing this, doing that, and I'm back here working in the field. I hate that boy. Well, you know that's what he was doing, don't you? Don't you know that's true? And don't you know the moment he would see him, he would curse his very birth. His hatred had grown full. And he wasn't just angry. He wasn't just angry at the brother. He was angry at his father. How could you do this? Well, one day, as he's been stewing in his anger and in his bitterness, he comes home, and on his way, he hears the music playing. And he can sense that something is in the air. There's a celebration about to happen. He can see through the windows and people are dancing, and he's thinking, For me? Finally! Verse 22. But his father said to the servants, after having just met the prodigal son, the one who had run away and now come home, his father says to the servants, quick, bring the finest robe in the house and put it on him. Treat him as royalty. Give him blessing and a place of honor. Get a ring for his finger, that which represents authority in the household, and sandals for his feet, and kill the calf we have been fattening. We must celebrate with a feast, for this son of mine was dead and now has returned to life. He was lost, but now he's found, and so the party began. Meanwhile, the older son was working in the fields, and when he returned home, he heard music and dancing in the house, and he asked one of the servants, "Oh, what's going on? Well, what's the celebration for?" All the while, finally shaking off his bitterness, thinking, finally I'm being recognized. "Your brother is back," he was told. Can you sense the deflation? Can you understand what would be coursing through his body? And do you know that it would be vile, and it would be hatred, and it would not be joy? "Your brother is back," he was told, "and your father has killed the fattened calf. We are celebrating because of his safe return." Well, the older brother was angry and wouldn't go in. His father came out and begged him, but he replied, "All these years I have slaved for you." Can you hear the bitterness in his voice? "All these years I have slaved for you, and never once refused to do a single thing you told me. I obeyed your every command. I didn't like it, but I did it. And in all that time, you never gave me even one young goat for a feast with my friends. Oh, no, not me. I don't mean anything to you. All those days I slaved for you, and all you did was look for that slime of a brother of mine." Oh, I'm sorry, that wasn't really there. "Yet when this son of yours," and I hate his guts, "comes back after squandering your money on prostitutes, you celebrate by killing a fattened calf." His father said to him, "Look, dear son, you have always stayed by me, and everything I have is yours. We had to celebrate this happy day, for your brother was dead and has come back to life. He was lost, but now is found." No celebration in the older brother. None. None. The older brother was trapped in anger and bitterness, and he refused to forgive. He refused to forgive. And his refusal to forgive brought anger and bitterness into his life and changed who he was. Not just who he could be, it changed who he was. His unforgiveness rendered him just as lost as the runaway.